Welcome to the deep dive. You guys sent in a ton of material on Tiger Woods.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But that's what we're here for, right? To really take a deep dive into all this. And what we're going to unpack today is a story of reinvention, one that goes way beyond just the 18th hole.
Absolutely. And what I find so fascinating is that Tiger's journey resonates with people, even if they aren't golf fans.
Yeah,
It really taps into this universal thing about overcoming adversity.
it does. We've got articles, excerpts, even some childhood photos. It's incredible.
Oh,
And it all starts with this amazing picture, a 2-year-old Tiger on national television, already swinging a club like a pro.
oh, I've seen that.
It's crazy. I mean, how do you even start that young?
Well, that's where his father, Earl, comes in.
Right.
He had this vision, for Tiger's future.
Yeah.
Rigorous training, instilling mental toughness right from the start. I mean, Earl even had Tiger practice putting with distractions.
Real.
People jingling change during his backswing. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Just to prepare him for pressure.
Wow, that's intense. It's almost like he was, I don't know, engineered for greatness.
Yeah.
And that mental game, it played a huge role in his early career, especially when he was breaking barriers as a young mixed-race athlete in a sport that, wasn't exactly known for its diversity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Tiger faced racism throughout his career,
Right.
both subtle and very overt. But his talent, it was undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
And his rise wasn't just about skill, it was about representation.
Yeah.
He inspired a whole generation of golfers from all kinds of backgrounds.
He did. Speaking of undeniable talent, let's talk about the 1997 Masters.
Oh, yeah.
21 years old, wins by 12 strokes.
Unbelievable.
It's insane. What was it about that tournament that made it such a turning point? I mean, not just for him, but for golf itself.
Well, it was a seismic shift, really. Before Tiger, power was everything in golf. But he brought this whole new level of athleticism and strategy to the game.
Interesting.
Yeah, and his swing coach, Butch Harmon, helped him develop a swing that combined that power with incredible precision. He could shape shots, control his trajectory, and that's how he dominated Augusta National.
So he wasn't just hitting the ball farther.
No,
He was hitting it smarter.
exactly. Much smarter.
And the world took notice.
Yeah.
Suddenly, golf had a new icon, a global superstar. Endorsements, sponsorships pouring in. What was it like to witness that cultural phenomenon unfold?
Well, it was electric. Tiger transcended golf.
Right.
He was on magazine covers, commercials. He was everywhere. He made golf cool, brought in a younger, more diverse audience.
Yeah,
It was a golden era for the sport.
for sure.
And he was at the center of it all.
He was. But that level of fame, it comes with a price, right?
Of course.
The pressure to maintain a perfect image, to live up to these impossible expectations.
Yeah.
Was that part of what led to the events of 2009?
It's impossible to say for sure.
Yeah.
But the pressure was immense. And when the scandal broke, it was this stark reminder that even icons are human.
Right.
The infidelity, the public scrutiny, lost sponsorships.
Yeah.
It was a massive fall from grace.
And that fall, it wasn't just about his reputation. It was about his physical well-being, too, right? Didn't he start having some serious injury problems around that time?
Yeah, he did. Back problems, knee surgery. It was one thing after another.
Oh, wow.
By 2017, he was in constant pain, could barely walk. It was a far cry from the athlete who had once seemed invincible.
Yeah.
And, this wasn't just about physical pain.
Right.
It was about the potential end of his career.
Exactly. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're continuing our exploration of Tiger Woods, really trying to understand the man behind the myth.
Yeah, it's interesting. Last time we talked about how his career was kind of bookended by these major setbacks. First the racism he faced early on, and then the scandal and the injuries later in his career.
Right, right.
But what's really remarkable is how he managed to reinvent himself.
He did. Each time. And, it's interesting because when you really look at his game, it wasn't just about brute strength.
Yeah.
There was this incredible finesse, almost an artistic quality to his play.
How much of that do you think was natural talent versus, the product of all that intense training?
Well, it was a combination. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Tiger had a natural gift, but he honed it relentlessly. His father's training regimen, it focused not just on physical skill, but on mental fortitude as well.
Right.
And as he got older, he worked with top coaches like Butch Harmon and Hank Haney, constantly refining his swing, adapting to new challenges.
So even at the peak of his career, he was still evolving, still pushing himself to be better.
Oh, absolutely.
And that drive to improve It extended beyond the golf course, too, didn't it? Let's talk about his foundation.
Yeah, the Tiger Woods Foundation.
The Tiger Woods Foundation.
Yeah.
It's about more than just giving back, isn't it?
Absolutely. The Tiger Woods Foundation, which he started in 1996, is all about empowering underserved youth through education.
He's particularly focused on STEM programs, college access, and character development. Tiger saw firsthand how education could open doors, and he wanted to create those opportunities for kids who might not have them otherwise.
It's one thing to donate money, right?
Yeah.
But to actually build a foundation, to be actively involved, that shows a real commitment.
It does.
And speaking of impact, we can't ignore how he changed the face of golf, right?
Right.
This was a sport that was seen as exclusive, even elitist. And then Tiger comes along.
Yeah, he explodes onto the scene with this incredible talent, this charisma. Suddenly golf was cool, it was exciting. He drew in a younger, more diverse audience. There were kids all over the world from all backgrounds picking up golf clubs, wanting to be like Tiger.
Yeah. He really did make golf a global sport. But it wasn't just about his ethnicity or even his style of play. It was something about his mental game, right? That laser focus, that ability to perform under pressure, that resonated with people beyond just, the sport itself.
You're right. There's this book called The Inner Game of Golf that talks about how our mental state affects our performance.
Yeah.
And Tiger seemed to embody that concept. He was known for his pre-shot routine, his visualization techniques, his ability to block out distractions, stay in the moment.
It's almost like he was playing chess on the golf course, always thinking several moves ahead.
Yeah, I like that.
And that mental toughness wasn't just about winning tournaments. It was about facing adversity both on and off the course.
Absolutely.
I mean, the way he handled those injuries, the years of rehab, it's almost superhuman.
There's no doubt that Tiger possesses this incredible resilience. He's been through so much, the scandal, the injuries, the public scrutiny, but each time he's found a way to come back, to reinvent himself.
And that's what makes his story so compelling, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about the trophies. It's about the struggle, the perseverance. It's about the human element.
It is.
It's a reminder that even the greatest among us, are fallible, that we all face setbacks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tiger's journey resonates with us because it reflects our own human experience. We see our own struggles in his. And his triumphs, they inspire us to keep going, to believe in our own capacity for resilience and reinvention.
I think that's a perfect place to pause for now.
Okay.
We've explored his impact on the world of golf and beyond, but I'm really interested in bringing this home, connecting it to our own lives.
I agree. In our final segment, let's delve into what Tiger's story can teach us about facing our own challenges, about finding strength in adversity, and about the power of reinvention.
Okay, so we're back for the final round of our deep dive into the life and legacy of Tiger Woods. We've covered a lot, from his incredible rise to, those amazing comebacks. But now let's get personal. What does Tiger's story mean for us? For, the everyday challenges we all face?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
How do we translate these grand narratives into takeaways, tangible takeaways for our own lives?
Right.
Tiger's journey is this masterclass in resilience.
It is.
But what are the specific lessons we can learn from him?
That's what I want to know. And one thing that really struck me was his approach to failure.
Yeah.
He had these very public setbacks, right? The scandal, injuries. But he didn't hide from them.
He didn't.
He owned his mistakes, took responsibility, and worked to rebuild trust.
He did.
That takes a lot of courage.
It does. It's so easy to get caught up in shame, self-pity,
Yeah.
When we mess up.
Yeah.
But Tiger's example, it shows us the power of accountability.
Yeah.
It's about acknowledging our failings, learning from them, and then using them as fuel for growth.
Right.
It's not about being perfect.
No.
It's about striving to be better.
I like that. And that ties into this idea of reinvention, which is kind of a recurring theme in Tiger's career. He had to constantly adapt his game, especially after those injuries. He couldn't rely on just raw power anymore, so he had to become more strategic, more precise.
Exactly. He reinvented himself as a golfer, which proves that adaptability is key in really any field.
Right.
Life throws curveballs, and we need to be able to adjust, find new approaches when the old ones just don't work anymore.
Yeah.
It's about staying flexible, being open to new possibilities, and being willing to learn new skills.
Absolutely. Reading about his training regimen, it's clear that Tiger had this incredible drive, this unwavering determination to be the best.
Oh, yeah.
But that same drive also seemed to push him to extremes, to push himself beyond his limits.
Yeah. There's a fine line between ambition and self-destruction.
Right.
And Tiger's story is definitely a cautionary tale in that regard.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we need to be mindful of our limits, both physical and mental. Pushing ourselves is important, but so is knowing when to rest, recover, and seek support when we need it.
Yeah, it's about finding that balance, right? The drive to achieve, but also the wisdom to take care of ourselves. And then there's this whole aspect of vulnerability, too. I mean, Tiger could have easily tried to maintain this facade of perfection, but he didn't. He allowed himself to be seen as human, with flaws and struggles.
Right, and that's where we see the true power of his story.
Yeah.
It's not just about winning, it's about the courage to be imperfect, to show up authentically, even when it's uncomfortable. His willingness to be vulnerable, it makes him more relatable, more human, and it ultimately makes his triumphs even more meaningful.
It does, because it reminds us that we're all in this together, right? We all have our own versions of Tiger's story. We all face challenges, setbacks, moments of doubt. But we also have the capacity for resilience, reinvention, and growth.
Precisely. Tiger's journey is a testament to the human spirit,
It is.
a reminder that we're capable of incredible things, even when the odds are stacked against us. It's a call to action, an invitation to tap into our own inner strength, and pursue our dreams with passion and purpose.
That's powerful. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you hope listeners will carry with them?
For me, it's this. Embrace the power of reinvention. Life is a constant process of evolution. Don't be afraid to shed old identities, to learn new skills, to adapt to changing circumstances. And remember, setbacks are inevitable, but they don't define us. It's how we choose to respond, how we learn and grow from those experiences that truly shapes our story.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the life and legacy of Tiger Woods. We hope you found it insightful, inspiring. And remember, no matter what challenges you face, you have the power within you to overcome them and create a story that is uniquely your own.